2 seconds, don't do that yet. 2 seconds. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in 5, 4, 3, 3.5, 3 3/4, and go.
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show, where we highlight misfits, outcasts, and renegades for the being good and doing good movement. We spotlight people that are changing the world by having integrity and honesty and creating an environment of connection, thus showing the true secret to success and creating a life of greater impact. So come on board and create your own Biz for Good life.
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show. I am your host, Bobby Glenn James, along with the Ryan Pilkington, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, today we have an amazing guest today, Mr. Will Deane. Not the country star, but Will Deane, the successful entrepreneur. And let's start the show, Ryan. Tell us about the show. Tell us about Will. Let's get this thing on the road.
Well, yeah.
Will's like, okay, I'm not sure I signed up for this exactly.
I'm ready.
He's ready for it, baby. We talked to Will. He's a trooper. He's gonna give us a super lot of insight and have some fun with him. So, what do we got, Ryan?
Yeah, thanks for joining the Biz for Good Show. We're marching to the 90s here with episode 87.
87.com. Wow, you beat me to the punch, Ryan. Beat me to the punch.
Yeah, episode 87 is Scale It with Will Deane.
Scale It with Will Deane. Oh, and I'm supposed to take this over. How come I can't remember to do this part? Welcome to the Biz for Good Show, where two fun, adventurous entrepreneurs are sharing their experiences of the real secret to success, the business of doing all things with a be good, do good mindset. There is so much bad noise in the world. Let's fight against the noise and flood the world with the good. So come on and go for the ride with us. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Instagramians, iTunians, most all other podcast outlets. And it sounds like somebody is working on the top, what do you call that? The
roof?
The roof. That's what you call it, of our building. We are on the third floor of the Miller Corporate Partnership building, and it sounds like somebody is fixing things up above the so we've got some added fun effects today. So
You're like, bring the thunder.
bring the thunder. Hey, Ryan, tell us about Will.
Yeah, Will Deane is the CEO of Unstoppable.co and a lifelong entrepreneur with several successful startups under his belt. Starting from the early age of 15, he's been building companies. He is a lover of all things marketing, consumer trends, branding, and team building. We're going to go ahead and talk more with Will on scaling it and all that good stuff. So I'll let Bobby introduce Will.
You'll let Bobby introduce Will, or should we throw a Google challenge on Will?
Yeah, it was going to be the top 5 scaling. No, just kidding.
It's going to be the
But we could do a Google challenge.
What, you were going to do something different?
No.
Okay, so Will, we're just going to off the hip do a Google challenge. This is how the Google challenge works. Will, we are going to ask Google a question. How do you scale it?
Has he accepted the challenge?
First, yeah, have you accepted the challenge, Will? Will you go against Google? Are you up for it?
I will go against Google. I will go against Google.
He is like, take it. Let's do this.
What are my options here?
So here's how it's going to work, and you'll see your options are actually pretty good because we ask Google a question, and then we go to the third page because everybody goes to the first and second page. So we're going to go to the third page, and we're going to grab the answer of the question to Google. We're going to read what it says, the thing that's not an ad, and then you're going to give insight to that and say that's bull crap, or you're going to give a better answer.
I love it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, so it is, how do you scale it? Is that what we're going to ask, Ryan?
How do you scale it?
And drum roll, please.
How do you scale what?
That's just all we're going to say.
How do you scale it?
IT.
Uh-oh, we got some.
That's his feedback. So we're getting a little bit of feedback from Will, I think. maybe. Or maybe it's you, Ryan. Oh, Ryan's doing
Not me.
it. Oh, really?
Nope.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's see. How do scale it? We want to scale it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, page 3, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Page 3. This is page 1. You scroll down, Ryan, to page 3.
Is that how it happens?
Yep, that's how the best way to scale and deliver your SaaS startup. Oh, that's lame. Let's go to the next one. How to find the tools to scale your startup. Okay, let's pick that one. Here we go. How to find the tools to scale your startup. And what they're saying is, scroll down. You're the driver, Ryan.
I'm the driver?
So you
What
have
if I'm drunk? I don't...
He's a drunk driver. Driving the internet drunk is a bad idea. So starting a company is really hard, it says. Pfft, that's not true. Starting a company is easy. Making it work is the hard part. Sure, you may read that some random Medium post like this one, but it is near impossible to truly empathize with the difficulties of founding a company until you are standing in the trenches of the startup battlefield, sweating out the pain. Something like 92% of new companies die within 3 years. Of the 8% remaining, only a handful end up making a major impact in the world. As much as it is a game of skill and purpose, ask any rare successful founder in the industry and they will tell you that luck is certainly a very influential factor. While you cannot directly control how lucky you and your team get, the least you can do is set yourself up for success by striking the chips in your favor. There are lots of ways to do this, some more proven than others. So what they have here are work with the best people, raise the right money at the right time, find good mentors, and use the right tools. So that's what we got from Google. Mr. Deane, what do you think? What do you think about Google there? That was quite the answer. What do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think luck is BS. I think you make your own luck. So I'll put that out there.
I'm with you 100%.
What?
With you 100%, my friend.
Yeah, I think, grit is a big part of success. A lot of people quit way too early. So that I don't think luck has they might be using the word wrong. The rest of it, I think, is great advice. Not very actionable, but I would agree. Getting a great mentor or somebody to emulate is a really good idea when you're starting a business. I think that a lot of people go into business coming up with their own plans and own ideas when millions of entrepreneurs have either been successful or failed doing the exact same thing before. So you might as well find somebody who you want to emulate and try to map their plan or map their process. And yeah, I think the other stuff's good as well.
Yeah. Is there anything you would add, you personally would add to it?
Hiring a team is obviously the most important. Having a mentor is very good. Read. I think that goes along the same as mentor, right? I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, like I said before, just go at it thinking that they've got this or they know best. Every time I open another book about, someone's journey or whatever it is, I learn something that I don't have to learn the hard way. And so reading is very, very important. As it's very overlooked, but it's very important to achieve, what you want to achieve if you're an entrepreneur.
Super powerful. I was reading an article the other day, and it was talking about Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and I think it was Elon Musk, how much of voracious readers they were. And it was an interesting article because they said, Bill Gates takes like 2 week, he calls them reading vacations, where for 2 weeks he just sits and reads. I have always been a proponent that reading you want to be a great leader, you want to be a great business person, read. So thank you for hitting that right on the head because I am so there. When I hear people that say, I don't have time to read, it's like you don't have time not to learn stuff. because you will make a crap load more mistakes.
It's insane the amount of stuff you can actually bypass by reading a story or a journey or actionable advice from somebody that's successful. It's absolutely crazy.
Anybody, yeah. I just wish. I believe it's one of the top 10 secrets to being successful. Don't you think, in business? I mean, it is so important. Learning is such a big piece. We think we just get out there and go, and going is good, but you do have to learn. So cool.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Totally agree.
Thanks, Will. So Will, we want to learn.
Did I pass?
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? Did he beat Google?
He's a winner.
He's a winner. Ding, 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 ding. Will has officially beat Google in the Google Challenge. So Google, you have lost once again.
Dun, 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 dun.
So Will, let's get to know you a little bit. Let's find out a little bit about you. What brought you to this crazy entrepreneur world, business owner? We all know that every entrepreneur, business owner has this weird mind. We all have this strange mind that just doesn't fit the mold of having a job and going to work 9 to 5. So when did you realize that? How did you figure that out?
That's a great question. Well, I had my entrepreneurial experiments when I was in high school that I didn't really know was entrepreneurial at the time. I just kind of wanted to make money, or at least be kind of the leader of my own domain. So I'll give you a quick kind of embarrassing story.
Perfect. We love those.
Yeah.
Back in high school, I remember my parents, we went on a cruise, and I think that you had to be 18 to be on a cruise, and I was not 18, but I wanted to be able to buy beer or buy something. And so I didn't know how to make this possible. Actually, it was to gamble at the casino. That's really what I wanted to do. And I wasn't of age. I wasn't of age to go into the casino. And I was like, I'm going to make myself a fake ID. So, because I didn't know what that was back then. And so, being tech savvy as I was, I made a fake ID. And fast forward, a couple months from the cruise, everybody wanted one. And
I know where this is going.
I basically manufactured a business that was highly lucrative in my early teens that I then took and put into the stock market, and was actually my seed money for my first company. But I had some scared straight learning experiences from that. My parents actually hired a lawyer pretending to be, a different lawyer that was onto this, and scared me straight. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Your life of crime was over.
Just wanted to gamble.
Yeah, you just wanted to gamble, but that's the entrepreneur mindset: is you see the opportunities wherever they are, and we do like to be legit, but still, you realize at a young age, oh, I kind of see opportunities here.
Yeah, I was like, there's a problem here that I need to be able to solve. And once I solved it, I realized that a lot of other people were having the same problem. And so I went about trying to solve that problem, and, fine line between legal or illegal, but that's how I fell into it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect. That's a perfect story. With that, let's get to our question of the day that we ask everybody.
Yeah, I know that you stated before you have a lot to talk about on this subject here. So what does Biz for Good mean to you?
Biz for Good, and it's definitely a loaded question because I've got a lot to talk about, but Biz for Good is basically, and I do a lot with e-commerce companies and marketing. And so for me, it's figuring out a way to work with companies and help them talk to their customers that helps their customers, that adds value in their customers' lives. And for me, it's as easy as identifying, why is somebody trusting you, right? When you go onto a random website, or let's say Amazon, you trust Amazon because it's Amazon. They've just provided you so much value already, right? Free shipping, trust, returns. In my world, I always try to think about, how can my customers provide more value for their customers, and honest value, true value, without expectation. And when you take that approach, their businesses start to flourish, and everything starts to align. And so to me, I'm very analytical. So it really is like, how can I help my customers help their customers grow and by providing value, and that's what Biz for Good means.
Providing actual value. They give you money,
Yeah.
and you provide more value than the money they give.
Absolutely. I mean, even, there's a lot of use cases when we first started this business where a lot of our clients actually didn't have funds, but they had a great product. And I just took it under myself to say, I'm going to crush this for you. And I know that if I crush this for you, the stars will align. And it has. I've taken clients on that have had no budgets that are now doing 5 figures in revenue a day from our efforts. Wow. And it's very cool to see because, it's always paid for. Every single client we have now is a personal referral. And the only reason it's been a personal referral is because we've killed it for them. And we go out of our way to do it regardless of what they're paying us or what they're not paying us, because like this show's all about, like, doing good for people really comes back. It really comes back to everything.
It's magical. I mean, if you follow the line of doing good and being good for your clients or potential customers, it will always come back good to you.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I'll use this as an example. When my team executes something for somebody, even regardless of monetary, if are they paying us or they're not, my team feels good. They're like, yo, we just did that. And them feeling good makes our business better. And so everything is connected. And so I'm in total agreement with you.
Awesome.
It sounds like you do a lot of mentorship in the e-commerce world. You want to tell a little bit more about that?
Sure.
Or how that model works?
There's been a lot of times where people friends or friends of friends have come to us because they've heard about us and what we've been doing, and saying, like, can you help us? And now obviously we have to be very selective with the amount of time we give away to just kind of help. Yeah. But we have a lot of different clients that were just one-man shows or one-woman shows that now are doing really, really well. And we do everything from not just marketing, but helping their business overall, looking at their P&L, looking at their manufacturer relationships, trying to negotiate rates with them, with their manufacturers, showing them, interviewing customers, just the whole 360 of what their business is, because it's way more than just a product or getting sales online. And so we do a lot with different companies, helping them grow their business. And what that does, and honestly, we never ask for something, right? There might be a small fee they pay us, but we go well above and beyond. And what's happened is a lot of times these companies have come back and said, hey, how do I make you part of this? How do I make you part of this business? Because you've helped me get to X, and I know we can go way past it. And so there are a lot of opportunities and doors that just open up because of the value we put out first.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome feeling.
Not sure why we have that.
We're going to pause for just one moment.
Sure.
Why are we doing that? Double feedback. It might be on it. Is it? Do you have us on a speaker? Now it's gone. That was weird.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. We were just hearing us double. That was really bizarre. Did you?
I haven't touched anything, man.
I haven't touched anything either. Technology, man, you gotta love it.
Okay, yeah, sometimes it can be weird.
Yeah, we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
Go into the name of the company you're with and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your company, what exactly you do. Just kind of give us some insight of what your company's all about. I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but let's go all the way.
Yeah, I'll just go all the way into it. We're called Unstoppable. That's unstoppable.co.
I love that name, by the way. I am a huge fan of Sia. Do you like that song, Unstoppable by Sia?
Yes, yes, dude, I love that song.
I'm unstoppable today.
It's our song.
Yeah. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
There's a rock version of that.
Really?
Yeah.
She's beautiful. I love Sia. Anyway, sorry, side note.
Squirrel?
Yeah, so I mean, so basically, we help with all things online, but we narrowed our focus. We're really e-commerce focused. We help businesses scale that have great products from point A to point Z. So whether it's Shopify, Magento, BigCommerce, we help anything from paid traffic on Facebook, Google, email marketing, conversion rate optimization, really getting your product to the masses and creating a sustainable, scalable solution so you can actually grow a business online. That's what we do. We're very different than an agency because we look at the entire business to see where we can find more revenue or help the business grow or even help staff them, right? If they don't have a project manager on staff, but we know that they should allocate resources to that, we give these kind of actionable advice. So we do a whole thing, and it really stems from the fact that I built and sold a business before where I'm taking that knowledge into the e-commerce space. And so I don't just look at, hey, do we make a sale from running this ad? It's the whole ecosystem. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell.
Cool. Sweet. So you said it's different than an agency. I'm curious what exactly that means, different than an agency. So you're talking like a marketing agency is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, a lot of agencies and a lot of places where we've had clients come to us from, they just focus on paid traffic acquisition. So running Facebook ads to get a sale, right? Mm-hmm. And with us, we do way more than that. We know that running an ad on Facebook or on Google or any third-party network might not work unless you have something on page or unless your margins are right. A lot of times we've had clients come to us and say, this was working 2 years ago and we've just been losing money every year. We don't know why. And after a day of analysis, it's like, okay, well, the ecosystem's changed, where you're getting traffic from has changed, and your product costs are the same, and your margins are the same. So let's go back to whoever you're buying your product from or your manufacturer, and let's negotiate your rates 25%, because then we have more money to acquire more customers, and that might be the solution to your problem versus just trying to solve a business with marketing. There's so much more than that.
And
so
there's
that's
so
why,
much.
I think that churn or a relationship with a customer can end pretty fast if you don't look at the whole business and you just look at, we're only good at online Facebook stuff. You have to look at everything to make sure the business can be successful.
I love that. It is so true. The marketing world, being an entrepreneur, owning several businesses, me and Ryan both know, spent lots of money on marketing and have gotten practically no results because it's exactly what it was. Hey, we're going to put you ads. We're going to do ads. No feedback. They're the experts. They should be able to tell you, that ad is lame or that ad probably is not going to work, instead of just, oh yeah, we're going to spit it out to this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. Marketing, I really have a hard time. I believe you can't run a successful business without successful marketing. Unfortunately, there's so much crap marketing out there.
There's a lot. That's how I fell into this. My old company, we sold emergency lighting. So we were emergencylights.net and ballast.com. Very weird space, but it was in the lighting space, and we had e-commerce stores. And before I knew all this stuff, I actually was hiring outside resources, and I realized pretty fast that they're not putting the passion behind it that I would, because it's my business. And so I said, I got to bite the bullet and teach myself all this stuff to really make this successful, because no one else is. And so I took that skill set and just kept going deeper on it. And then with the clients we have now and some of our own brands, because we pretend like we're the business owner, we have the passion behind it and the execution. So we actually look at every business we have like it's ours. And that allows us to.
Great. I love that. I love that. Because that is a part of the being good and doing good. Taking ownership of that company instead of saying, well, you know what, you told us to do this and it didn't work and that's not our fault.
Yeah, that's the worst way to build a relationship or even build trust. And for me, I won't even take a client on unless it's fully transparent on both sides. And we have done our thorough research to know that, they could potentially be great. They just don't know how to be great. And a lot of times clients will be like, we know what we should be doing. We just don't know how to do it. And it's like, well, let's all step back. Let's get rid of the ego for a second. Let's look at our customers. Let's analyze everything. And when we take a client on and make sure that they know this, I pretend like I'm the owner of the business. I'll look at the costs. I'll look at where they're putting their money. I'll look at the opportunities on different channels. I literally have hired an entire company staff based on knowing where the company should pivot at certain times.
Wow.
Because if I was the owner, this is what I would do. And because of that, they're now doing almost $1 million a month in revenue.
Wow.
And when we first took them on, they were doing about $60,000 a month in revenue.
Wow.
Wow.
That reminds me of The Prophet. You talk about the
Prophet.
You guys ever watch Marcus, The Prophet? He goes in and he basically becomes that company. Are you a fan?
I've learned a lot from him.
Marcus
actually.
is the man.
Marcus is the man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He
I'll
comes
tell you,
from,
it's so funny. I mean, I always love watching those shows on CNBC because there's little things you can pick up on. And one of the things I've noticed with Marcus is two things he always does. He always makes sure if it's a local business or a store that the opportunity, like the space is right. Like they'll walk in, there might not be like a space for them to buy extra stuff, but that's a whole, would you like fries with that, right? It's like the upsell. So there's other products that are now visible, which you can make more money from. And then people that have excess inventory, he just clears out right away.
I love that.
And those are two
Get
things,
rid of it.
Those are two things I'm like,
And then
just makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he watches those margins like hawks.
Yeah. I am dumbfounded by how many people don't listen to him. I'm less like dumbfounded.
Go ahead, be a loser. Don't listen to Marcus.
Anyway, yeah, that's cool. Well, cool. We like to thanks just for being on the show. We also like to kind of end with an action item. Do you have some kind of an action item that you could give the listeners that maybe they could take away with to use, just some kind of little nugget that maybe has assisted you in your life, something like that?
Yeah, I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'll mention it again. There's so much BS and noise out there with, you should follow this person on Instagram, you should do what this person's doing, or seeing other people's wins, right? You always see the company that sold for $10 million or $100 million. You never think that they went through struggles, right? You never see the downside of how entrepreneurs or people got there. And something that really brings me back level-headed or humbles me is picking up a book and actually reading about the people and how they became successful. And then what that does is it creates a perspective, right? You don't get overwhelmed with, man, I'm not there yet, or I'm not rich yet, or I'm not successful, because all you see is that success. And so what I really implore for people that are watching, mental health-wise, is to find somebody you really admire and read their story, because that will bring it into perspective that you have time and that you actually can be successful without worrying about what other people are doing.
I love it. It's funny because people talk about not buying mentors, but paying money for mentors and this, that, and the other. And the funny thing is there are so many ultra successful, powerful people that you could pay thousands upon thousands of dollars as a mentor, but they've written books. They've written books. You can have them as mentors. Yeah. Just read and see what they've done and connect with that. It dumbfounds me. People talk about buying mentor, have a mentor, and I do it. I mean, I've done it. I've paid for mentorships. I have mentees, but there's so much out there that you could learn from insanely powerful people, and they can be your mentors for $9.95 for their book or whatever.
And you know what? I'll take one more actionable thing. If you take anything away from this, here's a simple book that I'd recommend. It's not anything, I have a ton of different books, but here's a perfect example of a book that tells a story of nothing to a billion, and it's called Shoe Dog, the Phil Knight.
Dude, Shoe Dog!
You just hit a nail on a big ding.
I love that, but that is my favorite autobiography. Freaking Phil Knight is a baddie.
Baddie, man, he's good. And the reason I'm referencing that book is just it shows you everything, right? From like lawsuits to where he didn't think they were ever going to be successful to like they didn't even know they were starting a company. And puts it in perspective. Like, you've got time, you know?
And that book, like you said before, totally hits on the head. You don't give up. He should have quit so many times. He went up against stuff and he's just like, nah, I'm just going to keep doing it. I love what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm going to keep doing it. But so many people would have quit. So many. That book is
Yep.
so powerful in the fact that you just don't stop doing it. Thanks for bringing that up.
100%.
That is so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
people know I talk about that book a lot. I would kill to have Phil Knight on the show just because what an inspiration.
That would be
And the
awesome.
book is it's fun. He writes it in a really fun, engaging way. It's not just,
Yep.
oh, there's a bunch of data. So thanks for bringing that up, man.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Good mind.
100%.
Sweet. Well, Will, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I think we got some really cool insight, and you are absolutely living the Be Good, Do Good. And thank you for being that misfit and outcast in the world of manipulation and all that stuff, and getting above the noise by being real and a person that connects with your clients.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys having me. It was a pleasure.
So how can people find you? How can they connect with your business? What kind of links and stuff do you got?
Sure. Instagram at Will Deane, website unstoppable.co, www.unstoppable.co, or just go to Facebook and type Will Deane. I'm usually the first thing that pops up. So just hit me up there, and I'd love to meet you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll do that. You want to take us out, Ryan?
Yeah, thanks so much for being on the show. We appreciate that. It's just awesome to meet people. It's the best part of my job right now.
It really is. It really is. Thank you for just being a bad A awesome dude, man.
So we always end the show
Awesome.
with
Well, I appreciate you guys having me.
you bet. We always end the show with the hashtag Be Good Do Good 3 times. On the 3rd time, we get louder. In fact, Bobby breaks the mic, so watch out for that. All right, you ready? On 3. All right, hashtag Be Good Do Good. Hashtag
Be good, do good. Hashtag be good, do good.
Mike broke.
Bro.
That's a wrap.